Morning everyone, welcome to a rather dry but murky Royton Golf Club. I'm out on the 18th tee, pegged a couple of balls up behind me. I'm going to try this week matching a 3-wood to my bag. I did the tailor-made M1 last week on the 12th hole, as many of you would have seen, and I was raving about that golf club. I think it's important to understand when you're purchasing a new club, when you're looking for a new club, to understand exactly what you want it to do. Now, the first thing everyone says when they're buying, especially a new driver, is they want more distance. Yeah, alright, that's very achievable, providing you know where you're starting from. A lot of people overestimate how long they currently hit their actual golf club, especially the driver. In fact, recent stats have been announced that from My Golf Spy that the average increase, the average misconception is plus 20 yards, that people think they hit the clubs further than they actually do. So when I say to someone, how long do you hit your current driver, and they say 230, they really hit it about 210 at most. So we've got to understand a realistic starting point in order for them to build on something and build a golf club that's going to suit you. I saw average gains of about 10 to 15 yards last week in the review for the new M1. That's against my 2016 M2. I found that golf club very forgiving, but I found the M1 wasn't too much longer, but it definitely had the adjustability that I was looking for to enable me to manoeuvre the ball left and right. I was going to start this M2 review here on the 18th, but there's other considerations that you've got to take into account. It's not going to run very far at the minute at Royton because the ground's saturated, it's wet through. And when we're doing a 3-wood and a driver review, I like to get the landing distance and also the total run out distance. And I'm not really going to get that here. So what I'm thinking is I might go somewhere, I don't know, just a little bit warmer, where the air's a little bit milder, ball travels a bit further, maybe a shot in a t-shirt, somewhere like Portugal, the Algarve maybe. Huh, that's better. What a better place to finish this week's vlog. Where are we? This looks like, oh it is, it's the 8th hole at Vilamoura, Portugal. Well, let me tell you about the golf. Tuesday's results: Chris Kalo won Division 1 from Paul Hopkinson, 38 points for Chris. Division 2 was won by Dave Edgerton, who won on a card play off 37 points from Steve Field. Coming up in the upcoming fixtures for the golf club is the Captain and President's Final Fling. That's on the 11th of February, so Captain and President obviously invite everybody from the club to come and help them celebrate their year in office, or as officials, so to speak. So everybody's welcome to that. The usual food and entertainment's provided. Without further ado, I was talking to you a few minutes ago at Royton about the new M2 driver. Before I smack it, let me just give you a little bit about the what's happened this year's as opposed to last year's. So what they've done now is, you know, the look of the M2 on the top, have they got the white front there and they got the black carbon composite crown. What they've done now is put more carbon in this crown, and what that's enabled them to do is shift the centre of gravity and the weight around. So by putting more carbon in a crown, you're able to increase the size of it, which increases the forgiveness of it, makes it a lot more user friendly. But because they've not done anything with the weight, they put the weight more forward, it's going to give you a little bit more distance as well. I've been hitting it over the course of the last few hours, and I reckon it's given me about 10 to 15 yards again, a little bit further distance, but that's due to it coming out a little bit lower on comparison to last year's model. Also, it's a lot more forgiving. Remember that's the key. So before I hit this, wish us all well. We're playing it this week in the Lancashire Overseas Pro-Am here at Vilasol. I've got teammates Cliff Wood, Mark and Stephen Barrett, and of course myself, and we're going to have a right good weekend. We're going to smash it.